What's up, everyone? We are live for an early edition of Spin from the Real. That's right. We are about 40 minutes early, and you want to know why? We got this beautiful man on below us, none other than Sean Wingblade, talking about his debut match in the MTS. Hopefully it's not his only match, because I would have loved to see more Wingblade, and maybe he's got another one or two down the pipeline, I hope. We won't ask him that, because we don't want to get him in trouble. But
do you have any more down the pipeline?
I can't hear a word, Jeff.
Sean,
Matt,
I'm going to ask you a series of questions. You're going to give all the spoiler answers. It's fine. Everything's falling apart anyways. Yes. So, number one.
Joining me as always is the lovely quiz show himself, Jeff Altman, the lovable asshole. We all love him here. And Allison is taking the week off, and we should mention right now that next week there will be no show. Jeff has something going on. I have a screening, so we didn't want to leave Allison by herself. So no show next week.
Sean is running the show next week.
Yeah.
Here on Spin from the Real, I'm in charge.
I will be in Portland, Maine, enjoying a nice trip, workation. Matt is doing his thing, being a professional film critic who will watch movies regardless of whether or not he's interested or not, especially if they're hyped up a whole lot by a lot of people. Right, Matt?
We're not going to get into that right now, Jeffrey. I watch what's put before me.
I almost fucking spit my snap.
I watch what's put before me, and so far that has not been put before me, so it has not been watched. But yeah.
Anyways, we got a show, right?
We got a show. But this is going to be a shortened episode. I'll let you guys know that right now. I'm not going to lie. We've noticed every Schmoedown show's numbers has kind of dipped over the last few weeks since the announcement that the show was ending. Which I've noticed.
That's you.
But for anyone who tunes in, we want to thank you for just tuning in and being here with us, whether it's live or just on the replay. It means a lot. And just remember to like, subscribe, follow everything we're doing over here. Jeff and I might have something coming soon. Jeff might have something on his own coming soon here. So just keep an eye out.
Yeah. I'm really good at planning, and I'm throwing out ideas behind the scenes and then never act on them. So get ready, guys, because it might happen again.
Did Jeff change his room around finally?
No, the desk has just been flipped. It was originally the wall is like literally within arm's reach. Now the desk is just. So
he just wanted to show off that really cool air conditioner he has up there in the corner.
Yeah, right.
That we installed in the house 2 months ago. It's so nice.
Keeps it nice and cool.
But no, let's talk about.
I don't know how you guys do it on the East Coast. I got central heat and air here in California. You need it. It's
the thing is, I've had central air. I've had central air in every other home that I've been in. It's just that this place is a house that was built like over 100 years ago. And because it's like a smaller row home, it doesn't have like the room for proper like ducts. But the thing is, between radiator heat and this, it's fine. That all works really well. It works just fine.
Nice.
Also, it's more energy efficient.
It's fair. But we're here to talk about the man of the hour, and that is none other than Sean Wingblade making his MTS debut and shocking the world by beating none other than Adam the Coyote Collins. Sean, how did that feel?
I think I shocked everyone, including myself, because if you ask anyone who I talked to before the match, I was not very confident going into that. I was excited, but confident was a different story. It was fun. It was great to be there too. It was first of all just great to hear that I'm getting the official invitation, whether I could make it or not. And then actually being there in person, getting to be behind the scenes, seeing how the sausage is made, is how they say it. Yeah. And then being there and meeting all the other competitors, watching how it was. So I went early I was there for a while, and I got to see other matches and stuff. Be in the audience and stuff, and that was good. Realistically, to prepare like mentally for. It's not everything that gets put out on YouTube. That's definitely an edited version. There's other things that happen, in between cuts, basically. And so it was good. It was good to be there a little early to see that happen before it was actually my turn to kind of get on the stage.
I mean, so did you have fun though?
Yeah.
Did you have fun? That's a really important question.
Isn't that why we do all this? To have fun answering trivia questions?
No, some people do it because it's literally the only thing that gets them up in the morning.
Look, Jeff,
it's fun to try to prove that you're the smartest person in the room. I think that's the goal.
Jeff forgets to watch Titans until right before this every week.
But no. I'm saying answering trivia questions gets Jeff up in the morning.
Answering?
Jeff's just ready. He wakes up ready to answer trivia questions.
Dude,
also,
listen.
yes, and everyone who brings up any sort of factual
movies definitely get me up in the morning. I don't know necessarily about answering trivia questions. I mean, lately I've just been binging a lot of TV. I just finally started watching Nathan For You from Nathan Fielder because I'm obsessed with The Rehearsal on HBO. If you haven't watched it, you guys really need to watch it. It is. Listen, Taylor.
Well, you know what's funny? Taylor was just talking about Nathan Fielder last night on his Watt trivia or his Watt Twitch stream.
Nice.
Follow us on Twitch.
Yeah.
Watch Taylor play games.
I have been binging Nathan For You finally. Like, it took me forever to start watching, and then Rehearsal got me into it. And I'm into season 3 now, and I'm watching earlier today, season 2 finale, and out of nowhere, I'm like, holy fuck, did Shannon Barney just show up in an episode of Nathan For You? Sure enough, she did. So
she is, in fact, an actress, right?
Taylor, the Rehearsal, guys, listen, this show is going really well, isn't it, wouldn't you say?
We'll get back to
that's no coincidence. Please watch The Rehearsal. Everyone needs to talk about The Rehearsal. If you haven't watched The Rehearsal, it is mandatory viewing. I don't really care what else you do with your lives. Watch The Rehearsal. Back to the matter at hand. It's the Schmoedown. Sean, I'm glad you had fun. What was it like as someone who hasn't really done a whole lot of, I guess, cutscene work before this?
Right.
And something I've noticed with the way that they've shot a lot of their cutscenes this year and previous year stuff, they do a lot of one-shot stuff where just one person with the camera kind of moving back and forth with the scene.
Yeah.
That's it. And maybe you do a couple takes or whatever. But what's it like to, like, I guess, as someone who's not an actor, who just kind of does this for fun because you're enjoying it, to have to go on there and have to like act in a scene like that where it's in like such like a, I don't want to say like low budget way, but in like a, like, you just got to get it done like whatever way you can.
Where there's direction, like you have to hit these beats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There was definitely no script to say, as far as the acting part of it comes. It's more like, hey, here's what we're talking about. This is the vibe. Let's see where this goes, and then this is gonna happen, type of thing. I've never been an actor. I was not a theater kid. I'm not trying to become an actor. That's not my goal in life, which a lot of them are. A lot of them are either comedic or there's a lot of actors in LA, and a lot of people have done great work in the Schmoedown with their own other careers going on, and that's not me. But it was fun, just essentially like, all right, here's the vibe where the first scene we did was the thing with Adam and Adam, which was hilarious. Adam just waiting for Adam outside the restroom. I thought that was funny. And then and kind of just basically waiting for my cue to enter, and trying not to look silly or trying to make things look natural. That's the kind of vibe. And it's not like we took 10 takes on it. Like, we only did 1 or 2 at the most. And we pretty much nailed what we needed. I wish someone would have told me I looked so tired. I could have opened my eyes a little more. because I felt and like my own you know, I didn't get to watch it back, so like just looking at, I'm like, oh man, I looked so tired like doing that. I could have taken one more, you know, that type of thing. But yeah, it is what it is. It's me naturally, I think, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, one of these
honestly,
things
that's what I
was
like.
confirmed.
That's true, Jesse.
But no, I actually enjoyed the fact you got to be yourself. That was something that's a bit refreshing, because I remember you even said when you went into the FCL, I just want to be myself. I don't care about being a character. You just wanted to be yourself. Your auditions, you were always like, I'm here to be myself.
Yeah,
So,
and I've recorded some other things, and I showed it to. I think both of you have seen it too, where I was being more of a, you know, an asshole or a dick or whatever else. And I don't know. I realistically myself, and whatever my skill set may or may not be, I don't know if I could keep up, quote unquote, a character live for an hour, you know, which is kind of like the time it takes to make everything happen. I don't know. Not to say I couldn't. I've just never tried. Not like some other people. Like there's, you know, a guy who may watch this show named Rick the Rager Radis, who puts on a show every time he puts the robe on, and does it well, does it very well. And there's a lot of so many other characters in the Schmoedown who do it so well. Maybe there is room for someone to just be themselves, and that's kind of just me. You know, that's what I brought from the FCL, brought into the Schmoedown. I'm just being me. I want to compete and see if I am good at trivia, but also I want to have fun doing it, and I don't want to be a dick to anyone unless you deserve it. If you're an asshole, like Brother Lomas out there talking shit, I don't think we're ever going to play, but, you know, that's behind the scenes stuff.
I think you will. Maybe give it a season or two. You guys will get
yeah,
that.
sure. Maybe next season. Maybe we'll get a chance to run it back. It'd be fun.
So Brian
Maybe
Nussbaum brings it up. I wanted to see the homemade belt in the match. I was hoping to see that.
I meant to bring it, and that's my own fault. Literally, I just forgot it. I had it ready. I had it literally sitting here, and I didn't want to shove it in my suitcase because I didn't want to like mess it up. And that was my own fault. I should have packed it the night before, and I had it sitting here ready. I was going to carry it, and I just forgot it. And I'm mad I didn't bring it, because I just wanted Christian to sign off on it to make it official. That was my goal.
I mean, okay. If you played and you had that belt and you lost, would you have handed the belt to Collins?
That's like, not my choice. This is the People's Championship. If the people deem Collins the People's Championship of the FCL, then yeah, then I would have handed it off to Collins.
Well, hold on. This isn't like movie fights. Someone can have a belt and then just decide one day to not put it on the line, and then they could lose and not lose a belt. This is the Showdown, where if you have a belt and you lose, then you have to give up a belt. So it's not what the people feel. It's if you had a belt and you lost, you have to hand the belt.
Except that currently, since it has not been ordained, I'm only the People's Champion, or was of the FCL. You know, I don't know. You know what? There's details in the weeds. I don't think we need to get into, because I don't know. I don't have the answers for you, if we're being honest.
On what the FCL is?
Yeah, no, of the championship.
Oh no, you said
sure.
What's the?
I would have walked out. I would have put it right there in the middle between us, and I would have said, "Beat me for it. This is yours." And then I would have challenged whoever. I don't know who's the champion.
So
I guess we'll find out Friday.
This here, a One Gotta Stay debut. One thing that it's funny. One thing that I actually thought about when you got your 5-pointer was Rue, actually. And the reason for that is I think whenever I watch people have their debut IG match, I think about Rue when he won, and one of the things that he mentioned was getting that 20-point hump. So when you hit 20 points in the end there in your debut, so that's awesome. So it's Rue's really impassioned speech that he gave when he won against our good friend Jesse, discussing that 20-point hump, and I don't know. I find that to be like a really solid number goal for a lot of people too. So just wanted to say I thought that was cool.
And it depends on the opponent. It definitely depends on the opponent, because our friend Jesse in the chat, the match, Jesse's best match in the Schmoedown was a 21-point TKO loss. Or 22-point, but because depending on who you're playing, in his case, Robert Parker, who went perfect in that match and stole the question he got the chance to. Sometimes you're just too good. And Parker and and Smets as well. Like, we're going to see them face off this Friday. That's championship caliber, and I never anticipated myself to be kind of that on that level. I think I can hang with many of like the 5 through 10, kind of ranked. That's where I like place myself. I always want to see if I can be the best. Whether I can be, I think probably not. But I always want to find out. But those 1 through 5, like, they're not missing more than 2 questions a match. There may be one at the very worst, type of thing. And for that, I would have had to step my game up greatly, and a lot of other competitors too. And we see that too in the way that matches play out.
Yeah.
Point wise too. You may miss one question. It might be your 5-pointer. It's the biggest question you're ever going to miss, or even a round 2 question where it's a 4-point swing because your competitor can get a steal off you. So it hurts more that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. Like this we got here.
Hey, sneaky. I'll tell you.
No,
the match itself too. I was thinking behind afterwards, and I'm like, wait, no, it's not digital. I wouldn't have gotten Superman if I would have spun again. Like, I was thinking, like, if I would have gone first and spun, and then I realized, wait, hold on, it's not digital match. It's not some algorithm kicking out categories. Like, because Colin spun, he got the wild card, the same wild card too. Because when I watched it back, I made sure it was the exact same slice that I landed on. If he would have kept it, he would have got opponent's choice. And I was about to give him Wizarding World because he missed 2 Wizarding World questions in that match, or XMen. It was one or the other. But
tricky. You can get normal questions. You can get whatever the fuck Paul Oyama got last year.
Dude, XMen has been the most surprising deep cut category I think that anyone anticipated over the last 2 years, because I don't know if PJ and Paul just ran out of regular X-Men questions, but just everything's just quotes. There's just so many freaking X-Men quotes that are just stumping every person who lands in that category. That would have been my pick if he would have got opponent's choice. Would have been either Wizarding World or X-Men.
That's fair.
Nice.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Oh no, I was just gonna say. So there's the chances of seeing you again with IG. They're pretty slim, if only because of everything else going on and like trying to wrap up bigger stuff, like the bigger things that they might want to try and do. I have no insight into any of that. Now at least, but what I do want to know from you is, say you take out this whole, all right, you're calling out Lomas, which would be another fun thing probably and whatnot. If you're talking about this thing, it's like you think you can hang with like a good amount of people. All right, you take the Lomas, which is like already now in the storyline stuff of the Showdown of calling him out. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't, whenever the stuff wraps up. What are like your 3? Because we don't have the wheel here when people do top 3, so I figured I'll just ask you this: like, top 3 IG players do you wish you could like actually take on?
Based off just like test skills.
Now I'm not talking about like, oh yeah, you want to take down Cushing, Kalinowski, and Smith because those are 3 champions. No, just like in general, they can be anyone.
I mean, I think definitely. I wonder if you would go storyline with it, kind of like I would consider myself on the face side, face versus heel type of thing. Try to go against someone who talks some smack or has some fun. I want to go have fun, regardless of someone who can jar back and forth. So I really love the idea of calling out Lomas, because of the brother Lomas talking so much smack backstage, because he's just a riot. In every match, every time he gets a microphone in front of him, he's hilarious. So that was a ton of fun, something I really look forward to. And then you also have the competitive aspect, though. You want some people who are going to push you to the limit, who consider themselves or show themselves as the best. Someone like in the chat, we got Amaru in here who competed for a title and was 1 question away, and would could have been like an easy oversight. It could have been, this, that, the other. The chips just fall where you get the questions you get. Same thing could have happened in my match. against Adam. And then, or, maybe someone like Saul, where he's always bring that fire and that intensity to every match. And you're sitting across the table from him going, oh, does he really freaking hate me right now? Like, just because, it's like, hey, we're not competitors. You're my freaking enemy and I'm going to take you out type of thing. Is it the best? Yeah. Or is it just the best? And for years now, since Smets himself came on the scene, he's been my favorite player in the Schmoedown, whether it be character work or knowledge, and he would absolutely be like my number one person that I would want to take on in any way, shape, or form, just because it would be like an honor to kind of share the stage with that guy, but also find out if I'm as good or if I could hang, if I could try to hang on the top tier like that, and the IG knowledge in that room and what we're gonna see like this weekend just is beyond I think beyond what a lot of people would consider to be normal levels of obsession over the kind of movies that we have to watch.
Some of those are good choices. I mean, like Saul on top of a lot of like the real just like really like being locked in while playing and whatnot. You also have to remember, chances are, statistically speaking, if you play him in person, you're probably going to win by TKO. So there's that. But then, I mean, the fun stuff. I mean, yeah, I think that would be funny. I mean, I keep thinking about that one quote he said from the teams match against Impact, where it was what is it? I might be paraphrasing here. Shannon Barney absolved you two of your belts, and now I'm gonna absolve you of your sins.
One of the best one-liners. It was one of those times where the audio was a little bit better, but man, it was. I'm like, yo, he just went at him, and I respect it. And I love Rick Gratis is just like, hey, I'm coming, and Mark's just like, you don't have to make a statement. All you have to do is say yes. See, was that so hard?
You never know what's going to come out of Loma's mouth or what's going on in his head, whether the cameras are on or off. You have no idea what's about to happen, and having spoken
to him on camera and like not on camera, just behind the scenes, like he's just very funny. So absolutely, that guy is great. No, but I think that's a lot of fun. Those are some good choices there. But I guess what is it like, I guess, to this idea of going from sitting on your computer in the FCL and the difference between you play a match and you win or you lose, and then when you're done, you just turn off your computer and you're alone in your office.
Right.
As so many fan leaguers probably do, like right now, because that's how they are. They've been doing this. They've been doing their own digital leagues before them was digital league, and that's always the same thing, because you've heard that from other players. This idea of like, it's fun, and then you lose and you just turn off your computer and you're just alone now. So what's the difference now from you doing that in person or online, and then like ending and you're alone, or you win and you're alone, and now you win, you're just surrounded by people that you've only, for the most part, watched on screen before this. Like maybe you met them in LA, but really you didn't really interact with them enough as much. What's the difference there? Like, how did that feel?
The difference was definitely, I mean, the level of community, you can get around. I was trying to find a picture real quick, and I don't think I'm going to be able to. I was going to send it to you, Matt. I mean, I'm no rookie to being on stage doing trivia. I've been doing trivia for a long time, since 2014 through work. We do a Jeopardy competition, and essentially it's more of a team sport. It's not individuals, but it's teams, and everyone has their own expertise as to different parts of our job, and we compete against other teams. And in 2017, my team, we got to go to Arizona. We won the Western championship, I guess, and then in January of 2018 we got to go to Florida, Universal Studios, and we rented out a room and this and that, and so I got to compete against the president of our company and the whole team. We were up on stage, and it's nerve-wracking, right? But different. So there's that level of nerves where you're sitting there, you got your pen in your hand and you're like, all right, just gotta write straight. Let me use my good hand. It's that type of thing. Versus here sitting, relaxing, like, hey, do I have pants on? You don't know. You don't know what's happening underneath this Superman symbol right now. It's definitely different. It's a different feeling just to be under the lights, to have the lack of comfortability to being in a friendly space, I guess, or a familiar space. And I'm not one where I've gotten that opportunity to do it multiple times and go out there and get my feet wet. And I've been doing this for years, like a Kalinowski or, like anyone else. Or, like Adam himself, who also was in studio for relatively, not the first time, but, this season he was in studio for the first time.
Well, that's because you're in a bathrobe. You don't need anything else.
True. Yeah, I don't think he wears pants even on stage because, that's what robes are for. But
I've seen him. He doesn't.
I was there for that match. He doesn't. I was there as well. There's no pants necessary. That's what ropes are for. It's definitely different, and you can see. I show my my blood pressure on my face. I get very red. And you can see it if you go back and watch the match. You can kind of see when I walk out. I'm relatively normal. Like I usually have a tan skin because I work outside. I'm in the sun a lot. But you see when I'm standing there and I'm like laughing this and that, whatever. I get bright red. Like I'm trying to hold it in, that type of thing. So it wasn't without nerves for sure. I wasn't kidding when I said the lights were hot.
Yeah.
And so I just had to do my best.
Yeah. I have a bit of a high blood pressure, and I frequently notice when like things are like my head's like warming up and like, oh, the ears and the cheeks are all red, rosy. Makes me wonder, does Santa, who has rosy cheeks, does he have high blood pressure?
He could. That could be why.
Does he have a prescription for losartan? And if so, what's his dosage? That's what I want to know.
I tried to kick my high blood pressure medication. Tried to get it all out.
I respect this. But no, let's talk about that a second. That first cutscene was hilarious. You gotta love the confidence that Lomas. Well, I shouldn't say Lomas. That Radis had, because Radis was the confidence. Lomas like, "Are you sure about this? Because like it's them." Radis like, we'll be fine. Gotta love that confidence. May not have played out the way they wanted it to, but overall, love the confidence. Ooh, there's a picture.
I realized where I could send you that picture I was talking about.
If I'm not mistaken, did Raz get a perfect first round?
He got another perfect first round,
and he's the only one that got the bonus right.
Yes,
that's what happened. Yeah, he's the only one that got it right, and I that's the.
Hey, there I am. So I work for Comcast. I'm a cable guy, and we got to be on stage in front of the president of the company and many other high up people in the world of Universal and cable people, and so that was fun. So I'm no stranger to being on a stage. I just thought I'd share that. I thought it was fun.
If you and I combine, Lego, if you and I combine, we will have the perfect blood pressure. So
I wonder if we should reveal the second cut that was taken of that same exact scenario after Rager got his perfect round. I'll let him put it in the chat if he wants me to talk about it. I was sitting in the audience. It was a great match to watch too, because you get people like Mike and Marisol who are champions in their own right. Mike, multiple time teams champion. Marisol herself went perfect in her previous match. Shockingly lost the belt, but went perfect in the match. Neither of them are slouches, and I think that's the team coming together is just be formidable to deal with. Along with Chance and Travis too, who are also the other team on Corruption that we got to see. And it was a heavy weight for the Reckoning to try to overcome. And yeah, I guess we'll let Taylor tell the story. It was great. It was great, the whole scene. And Taylor, being the only person that actually went 11 for 11. in that first round. It was a good time.
Which, by the way, that's a great bonus question because it is
Mhm.
an easy way to throw off, because you have to remember that I don't actually remember all the numbers for it, but it was that was the Carpenter one, which, by the way, of course, is probably one that's more in Taylor's wheelhouse, as everyone probably knows by now. But I mean, because you know that he did the original, and you know he did Halloween, or he contributed to Halloween as well.
Sure.
Halloween
Yeah.
Kills. That's 3 right
Everyone.
there. And he did.
Everyone
Yeah,
definitely
he
knows
did
this.
some other stuff. Yeah, they should. They should. But
what IG movies is John Carpenter? Sorry, I don't think there's any.
Well, actually, is Big Trouble not?
No.
Big Trouble Little China? I don't know.
No.
That is like weirdly. That is like fantasy sci-fi.
I'm pretty sure.
Why?
It's a
That is not an
Carpenter
IG movie.
I'm saying it is fantasy sci-fi.
Yeah, it's fantasy sci-fi. I'm thinking.
Sure, there are many fantasy sci-fi movies that are not in the fantasy sci-fi list for IG though.
Yeah,
It doesn't encompass every fantasy sci-fi movie ever made. It's just there's a very specific list.
Okay, I get it. Yeah, better luck next year, guys.
Why?
There's always gonna be a next.
Jeff, what's on your shirt?
What's on?
Are you wearing a Ruin Johnson? Okay.
Written and directed by Ryan Johnson. This is the shirt for this is the merchandise that went with his Stab 8. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is from Stab 8 when he directed Stab 8, the sort of, the one that all the fans like really hated and they wanted to like make a petition do again. But yeah,
Taylor, Ghosts of Mars. So I looked over the list. I was talking to Allison about it because Carpenter's her favorite filmmaker. Ghosts of Mars is the only John Carpenter movie I've ever seen.
You've never seen Halloween?
Really,
not start to finish. Like I've never sat and watched it start to finish. I've seen Halloween. I've seen it. Like I know what happens type of thing, but I've never just sat and watched it start to finish.
that is such a bizarre. Like the only thing more bizarre for that would be like, oh yeah, the only John Carpenter movie I've seen, The Ward, which is like that tiny one that was the last one he ever made.
The only Scorsese movie I've ever seen is The Departed. I've never watched.
Sense. He's over.
He's
no, I'm kidding. He's not over it. I just don't care for him, but I can understand that at least.
Prepping for the FCL in the off season, I had said on a few different shows I've never seen a PTA movie, so I binged through all the PTA movies in the lead up, and I wasn't going to tell anyone just to keep it as like a secret strength type of thing. And I got up to Phantom Thread, and I still haven't watched Phantom Thread, but I still need to see Phantom Thread and Licorice Pizza that came out, but.
I love
all his works.
My favorite is his first. His Hard Eight's a great movie, but I'm a gambler too. I love playing poker. Hard Eight was fun.
You love gambling? Have you seen The Hustler? I know it's more pool, but it is gambling. Right?
No, I've never seen The Hustler or Color of Money.
You've never seen? Yeah, Hustler's way better than Color of Money. There's some good gambling stuff out there.
I'm currently working through. So I'm when Allison's going to take a break soon from doing You've Never Seen It, and probably in August, and take some time. And I am going to try to jump in. I need to actually film my thing, but I went back and I'm going to start at 1970, and I already have, and I'm going to watch all 5 Oscar-nominated Best Picture films from every year, and then do a review on them. And I'm going to put those up on the Flick and Reel, just as my own. I'm going to give out my own Best Picture and my own favorite actor and my own favorite actress from every year.
So that is. A couple things. There's one of the things I'll talk about separately, but one of them is that is very similar to one of the critically acclaimed podcasts that William Bibiani and Whitney Seibold do, where they watch every Best Picture nominee starting from the beginning. I believe they're in the 40s right now.
Right.
And then go through them all. They discuss, what's aged, what hasn't, and what won versus they think should have won with hindsight. So
I guess I'm kind of still in that. Shout out to William Bibiani. He told me that after I had already started watching all the 1970 movies, because I had brought it up to him in conversation. He goes, "Oh yeah, we do that on our Patreon." I'm like, "Well, I didn't know that." but I'm already doing it. So you know, there's
1970
no
is what? Is that Patton?
Patton. Patton was
Patton.
71. Was that 70? That was 70. That was 1970. Yeah.
I was no, I mixed up because 71 was French Connection then. So
Correct. Yeah. French Connection 171.
I mix up those, and I mix it all up because Patton won an original screenplay Oscar for Francis Ford Coppola, who then went and won the screenplay Oscar and Best Picture Oscar stuff for The Godfather.
Yeah.
2 years later.
Yeah. 1970 was MASH, Patton, 5 Easy Pieces, Airport.
By the way, 5 Easy Pieces. I haven't watched 5 Easy Pieces yet. I have it on here.
I really didn't like that
just
movie.
passed away. I know you said that in the group chat. You're like, why? Everyone's an asshole.
Everyone's
okay.
an asshole.
People could be assholes.
It's not a fun movie.
People could be assholes. It's okay.
Oh, Love Story. I think Love Story was that year.
Love Story was the other one. Yeah,
that was
Love Story was 1970. I haven't watched a lot of those. I've seen like Patton.
And then in 1971, it's funny because they had 2 Russian revolutionary movies, to come out the same year. I thought the Nicholas and Alexandra, and then the Fiddler on the Roof, which are both set in the exact same time period. It was just kind of random, but you see that throughout history too. There's always like 2 movies that come out in the exact same, like either the same plot or the same like
Snow and the Huntsman and Mirror Mirror, or
Yeah.
Deep Impact and Armageddon, or White House Down and the much worse Olympus Has Fallen.
Just friends
how did the better one of those get screwed and the worst one get sequels?
It's because the first one cost like 70, like Olympus Has Fallen cost like 60 to 80 million dollars to make, made like 90 something million dollars in domestically. Meanwhile, White House Down made like 72 to 75 million dollars on 150 budget in the US. But White House Down is way more fun.
Yeah,
so
it is.
That is it's actually low-key probably my favorite Roland Emmerich film. Outside of Moonfall, of course, that absolute godforsaken masterpiece.
I started watching that, and my buddy who had it, Lego, I don't know what that was in response to. It was John Carpenter thing. Sorry. I will get to him eventually. I mean, there's so many movies now that I'm not like, because I honestly like this last year playing IG. I was playing catch up because there was a lot of IG stuff, but I was good. Like I was really good with 2 years ago IG. You know what I mean? And I was the type of fan where I'm sitting behind, like I could do what they do. I just needed to go do what they do and actually put myself out there, which I wasn't doing. And then I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put a audition tape out. I'm gonna try for the FCL. Matt, you were writing for the FCL, and I shared with you, like we talked a lot before I even submitted my tape. And I was like, I'm gonna do it. But then that was also when they added all these new fucking movies, like 80 new movies or whatever, with all these extra categories. And I was playing catch up. Like honestly, like throughout the entirety of last year, I was just trying to watch the movies that I had never seen before. There's still like 8 to 10 movies that I've still never even seen on the IG list. And it's just because there's like 350 movies now with all the new releases that came out in the last year and a half. I don't know. It just
I filled in some IG gaps earlier this year, like in the last like 2 weeks. I'm sure you loved watching Jonah Hex and R.I.P.D.
I watched them once, and that was enough.
See, unfortunately, I'm one of the few people who I'm like, R.I.P.D. sucks, but at least it's semi-watchable. Jonah Hex is not even semi-watchable.
It was
Jonah
short.
Hex
If I remember the runtime, it was less than 100 minutes, and that was the best thing about
it's like 130. That's 90 minutes, Sean. That's 90 minutes.
You mean an hour 30? Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, you 130. Like
Jonah Hex is like 72 minutes, with credits, I think, and
it's really short.
And R.I.P.D. is like at 90 minutes or something. And yeah, R.I.P.D. is like barely watchable, but yeah, Jonah Hex was so fucked up in the editing, like so messed up in the edit too. Like there's obviously something else that could have been more interesting, and then it just was bastardized by the studio and everything else. And here's the thing: I'm an Elvadine Taylor fan. They wrote the film because like I like I've always been a fan of the Crank movies.
He did those.
So I even saw Crank 2 High Voltage in theaters. But that's like, I mean,
I
think
might
about
as
it.
well.
Jonah Hex directed by who? That's right, the guy who directed Horton Hears a Who. So you know that he's the right guy for the job.
Horton Hears a
Is
Who.
there-
Good movie.
No, Horton Hears a good movie. It's an animated movie that is in no way something that can show that like you can jump into the
Sure.
same sort of thing. That was doomed from all sorts of angles, from like all sides.
I mean, you never know how people pop off. You got, George Miller doing Mad Max and Happy Feet, or there's so many other directors that like, Rodriguez, jumping between genres, and then freaking the Russo brothers jumped from Community to do all the best Avengers movies ever. So you never know.
But
give 'em
before
a
that,
chance.
the Russos also had their masterpiece, You, Me, and Dupree. The 2006 comedy magnum opus with Owen Wilson.
I think I saw that once. I might have seen that in theaters.
I saw it on
Remembering
TV
right.
once.
Trying to remember if I saw it in
once.
theaters. I had just graduated high school. I probably went and saw that in theaters. It's probably like a date movie with my wife and I.
Yeah, I've seen.
How
Me
long
and
have you and your
Dupree.
wife been together? Hold on.
Christmas of 2005 was when our first date. And then
That's cute. Why did you take her? Why did you have a date on Christmas? Like, you didn't have family?
our first date was Christmas Eve. We went and saw The Ringer, the Johnny Knoxville
Jeffy like
classic.
apples.
Nice.
Jeffy like apples.
Name a
And
movie.
then-
Name a movie.
Name
Any
a
movie.
The Ringer.
Jaws. Oh, that's a great
That's
movie.
a great movie. It was a great movie. And then that was our first date, and then we hung out a week later on New Year's Eve for like a New Year's Eve party, and then
Nice.
we were history since then. But yeah, and then we got married in 2011. So we waited. I had just graduated high school, and she was still a senior. So it was,
High school.
I was robbing the cradle.
No, you weren't.
Don't tell anyone.
No, you weren't.
Now you have children, so you can rob actual cradles in your own home.
No, let's not.
Well,
Well, I mean, like, you can just steal shit from them. You can give them stuff, and
but
then
they
take it
don't.
away.
They're not in
No.
cradles. Just they're not.
Let's move on.
Well, I think we've gotten off the rails a little bit. And yeah, wow. And I think we've talked all there is for Showdown. I mean, next week's the big one. Really excited for that. But
Sean, who wins?
What? Huh? The champion.
The champion.
I should say
And-
this
And there
this
will also
Friday's the
be
big
there
one.
will also be an undercard winner.
Yes.
I honestly don't know who's on the undercard. We don't know other than the graphic that they put out. I don't know who's on the undercard of each thing. I didn't know my
This is the
match
last
when my
undercard.
match was airing.
This is the last undercard. Because the rest after this one are just matches.
Are they all just single matches? Okay.
Uh-oh. Jeffy froze. There we go. Jeffy's back.
No, there you go. His internet finally got better.
My internet's been saying it's been fuzzy this whole time.
Yeah, the only
So,
thing
but-
worse than your line of questions have been your internet connection this whole year.
Listen, here's the deal. No one said no. Never look at me and said you should be a host of a YouTube stream where people, I don't know, do stuff and whatnot. No one ever
Sure.
said that I should be a part of anything.
Okay.
In fact, all this has been a huge mistake.
But you did it
And
anyway.
Listen, October 1st, I'm retiring.
No, it's not.
No, you got to
to
do the post spectacular hangout.
Post spectacular hangout. Open spectacular.
Jeff, send me your address so I can mail you an Ethernet cord so you can plug your
He
computer
is
in.
plugged in.
No. So the problem is this house, like I said, is over 100 years old.
Mhm.
For whatever fucking reason, the way that the Wi-Fi stuff is set up, the router is in the basement. I'm on the second floor.
Mhm.
There's like, the density of like 100-year-old floors in between.
Oh yeah.
I need to get a Wi-Fi extender up here. That's what I need. I need to get a
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi extender on the
Google
first floor.
Nodes, baby. Google Nodes.
I hate mesh systems, first of all. They're not meant for everyone. They work well for some situations, but every house is different.
Yes.
Wi-Fi is the most unreliable technology that everyone relies on,
Yes.
100%. And I see it on a daily basis, and it's literally my job is to just go out to people's homes and go, yeah, no, there's nothing we can do about that. Run an Ethernet line to all your devices. Don't rely on the Wi-Fi. I'm sorry you have 130 devices with all your Ring cameras connected to your Wi-Fi. It's not all going to work properly. Stop relying on the Wi-Fi. Install access points if you need Wi-Fi and you have wireless devices. Install extra access points in other parts of your home. And hardline them back to the modem.
Do you want to come here and do that for me?
Yeah, I'll come hang out.
Yeah.
Send me a plane ticket.
I won't pay you in money, but I will buy you beer, and I'll give you drugs.
I'm down. Sold.
Perfect. Sold. And there's a bed right there that you could stay on. We have air conditioning. There's a lamp. If you don't want to use the lamp, you can tell there's other light in the room too. Occasionally cats may hang out in here. Hopefully you're not allergic.
I'm not allergic. I got 2 cats. Usually one's hanging out here, but I closed the blinds. She fucking hates me right now.
Yeah.
Lego, I'm happy. Mesh systems work well for most people. It's just not every house is different. Like you and your neighbor, you have different houses, you have different stuff in your homes, and people always think there's like a one solution for everything, and there's definitely not. So that's all I'm saying. All right.
Well, to close this out, as always, we got a Streamlab from John Lastrina, and it says you might want to keep your eyes on the road, Playboy. Monica Fuentes, Too Fast, Too Furious.
Monica.
Here's
what I'll say. I am not done answering inner geekdom questions.
That's a cute way to
Guess what? Guess that's a perfect way in it. Remember, folks, spin from the reel, not the peg. Follow the amazing Sean Wingblade. I just wish his MTS career would have been extended much, much longer. And follow myself and Jeff right here.
Do it.
Follow Jeff.
Don't follow me.
But no, follow us at Watt Real Entertainment. Twitter, it's right there at the bottom. Follow me, which my Twitter is Matt or Watt Movies _Matt. But we'll see you next time. Remember, next time is in 2 weeks. That would be August 8th. August 8th, we're off next week. And I think we'll be talking about the week's the IG next list, Last Titans, and then for Betty versus Radis, if I remember the graphic correctly. So
the singles, yeah.
So be sure to tune in for that. We might have a guest or two, who knows. But for now, spin from the reel and not the pegs. Have a good